Good morning, everybody. I am still in auto. There we go. Now we're here. Good morning, everybody. You are listening to the Morning Buzz on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Sorry about that. I'm a little sleepy. I am Amanda Gaudiosi, your host, and it's going to be a great show, guys. I am joined with Kangela Guerrero, my co-host.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, girl. We have Gwen Straitman, segment host.
Hi.
We have Riley Cupo, newscaster.
Hello.
And we have Emmy DiNovellis, our sportscaster. So we have a lot of great people in the room, and we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff today. We're going to be reporting on the Biden administration cracking down on sneaky fees, hundreds gathering around for memorial and mourn services in honor of New Jersey council members, and so much more. But before we can get into all of that, we have a newscast.
All right. So today in top national news, the president of Turkey on Wednesday acknowledged his shortcomings in the country's response to the world's deadliest earthquake in more than a decade. With the confirmed death toll approaching 12,000, the Turkish president, and excuse me for this because I don't think I'm going to get this, Recep Tayyip the Turkish president, we're just gonna say that for the time being, visited with the especially hard hit Hitali province with more than 3,300 people who died and entire neighborhoods who were destroyed. Residents have criticized the government's efforts, saying rescuers were slow to arrive. The president said, quote, it's not possible to be prepared for such a disaster. We will not leave any of our citizens uncared for. He also hit back at critics, saying dishonorable people were spreading lies and slander about the government's actions. And in New Jersey news, Murphy makes a $10 million push to pair cops with mental health workers on 911 crisis calls. A program pairing mental health workers with police responding to 911 for people in crisis in New Jersey will expand statewide after a pilot program showed it helped prevent some people from turning violent and improve their recovery. Governor Phil Murphy announced Wednesday. Calling it a game changer, Murphy said. The program known as Arrive Together.
All right, now we have a sports cast from Emmy. Woo!
Good morning, everyone. I'm Emmy DiNovellis, and we have a wide variety of sports to cover today. Kicking off with the doubleheader last night for Montclair State sports at Ramapo College, the Montclair State women's basketball team upset the Ramapo Roadrunners with a score of 60-53. Senior superstar Nikki Carter added 25 points to help her team get the win. For the men's basketball team, sophomore standout Mike Jackson notched 27 points, and senior Steve Bremen converted 25 points for their team to win against Ramapo in overtime 85-79. Both teams will be back at home to face the Kane Cougars on Saturday. Meanwhile, for the indoor track team, recently junior Owen Fogarty set a new school record for the pole vault, reaching a height of 4.57 meters, surpassing the previous school record of 4.45. set by Max Greenwood on February 6, 2019. Several New Jersey and New York teams have been and will be in action this week. On Monday, February 6, the New Jersey Devils defeated the Vancouver Canucks 5-4. Tonight, the Devils will be back on their home ice as they will take on the Seattle Kraken at 7 p.m. at the Prudential Center. While the New York Islanders easily defeated the Seattle Kraken 4-0 on Tuesday, the Islanders will host the Vancouver Canucks at UBS Center tonight at 7:30. On Tuesday night, the Brooklyn Nets fell just short to the Phoenix Suns with a final score of 116-112. The New York Knicks just beat the Orlando Magic with a final score of 102-98. The Brooklyn Nets will be back in action tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. to take on the Chicago Bulls at Barclays Center, while the New York Knicks will hit the road tomorrow to take on the Philadelphia 76ers tonight at 7 p.m. sharp as well. Finishing with football, the Philadelphia Eagles will take on the Kansas City Chiefs for their big game coming up on this Sunday, February 12th. Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes are set to make history this day. They are the first pair of black quarterbacks to face off head-to-head and lead their team to glory. Mahomes, who became the third black quarterback to win in 2020, is aiming to become the first black quarterback in NFL history to win multiple rings this year. While Eagles quarterback Hurts could become the 4th Black quarterback to win the Lombard Trophy. Back to you, Amanda.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. Super exciting stuff with sports coming up. It's going to be very fun. All right, but we're going to get into our first story. Just in this morning from the New York Times, sneaky fees continue to be a big part of America's consumer economy. Hertz charges almost $6 a day simply for using a toll transponder in a rental car. Marriott and Hilton add nightly resort fees to the bill, even at hotels that nobody would consider to resort. American, Delta, and United list one airfare when you first search for a seat and then add charges for basic features like the ability to sit next to your spouse. Ticketmaster is especially aggressive about imposing fees. President Biden had announced a crackdown on these fees, which his administration calls, quote, junk fees. And he devoted a section of his State of the Union address to them.
So yeah, moving on to our next story, really quick. Hundreds gather for a memorial and mourn service in honor of council members. So family, friends, and citizens are still mourning the slain and death of a council member, Eunice Dwumfor. Hundreds of people are gathered in honor the life of a Republican Sayreville council member who was gunned down outside of her home last week. Those who attended the service say that there is frustration that the person who killed the 30-year-old remains on the loose. They called the community to embrace her young daughter and to support her parents. Sayreville Mayor Victoria Kilpatrick says that Dwumfor's smile could be seen for miles. As the first Black woman to hold office in Sayreville, Kilpatrick says Dwumfor made a big impact in just a year in office. So we do wish them prayers, of course.
We're going to move on. We have some other top news stories.
Yes, we do. And we're talking about the mouse here himself. And here we got Disney over here laying off 7,000 workers worldwide. Now, more and more people are losing their jobs each day all across the country. But Walt Disney Company announced plans to lay off about 7,000 employees. The company stock increased immediately after the announcement, which was expected. Returning CEO Bob Iger is making a statement to his board about the company's finances moving forward. His goal is to cut more than $5 billion in costs, in part by consolidating divisions that make and distribute movies and television shows. But profits from traditional television have dropped, and none of the streaming services are making money. I mean, we can always just say the mouse owns all. And you know, it's whatever he says goes, but of course this is very unfortunate. 7,000 workers.
Biden calling out Republicans.
Ooh.
So in honor of social media influencer fashion, President Biden calls out Republicans who booed him during his State of the Union address. The booing emerged when he accused them of wanting to cut Social Security and Medicare during his State of the Union address, pointing out that several of them have expressed support for those cuts. Biden said, quote, "My Republican friends, they seemed shocked when I raised the plans of some of their members and their caucus to cut Social Security, and Marjorie Taylor and others stood up and said, liar, liar. That would apply," the president said, "to programs like Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid." The morning buzz here on 90.3 WMSC
Hi.
Montclair.
Can you hear me?
We have an interview this morning, which is very, very exciting, with Dr.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Can you hear us? I hope so. Well, anywho, we have an interview with a staff psychologist coordinator of equity, inclusion,
Can you
and
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear us?
Oh,
I can't hear you.
Okay, well,
Hello?
technical difficulties here.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go. Hi, welcome.
Am
Okay,
I live?
yes, you are live.
Wow. Okay. But not
Yes.
on Zoom, right? Okay.
Yeah.
On radio.
Yes. So, welcome. Sorry
Thank
about that. Little
you.
technical difficulties in the morning, but
No problem. As long as I'm not being filmed and on TV and you have to see me, I'm good.
That's why I'm in radio.
Exactly.
All right. But awesome. So, yeah, we have a lot to talk about. You are a staff psychologist coordinator of equity, inclusion, and community initiatives here at our campus. and Counseling Psychological Services. And thank you so much for joining us
My
again.
pleasure. Yes, I am. I'm proud to be a Red Hawk. I've been at Montclair State for 16 years. Happy to talk with you.
Wow.
Thanks for having
Woo!
me.
Very exciting. Okay, but to start us off, what is CAPS and what service does it provide?
Excellent question to start with. It's counseling, and psychological services. We are a support resource on campus. We're located in Russ Hall. And we have a range of services that are offered to campus within Russ Hall at CAPS and also across campus. And we have a wonderful staff of clinicians who are psychologists, social workers, licensed counselors, a psychiatrist. We have a range of services, including individual short-term therapy, referrals off campus, psychiatry, a range of group options at our center and across campus. We do a lot of collaborations on campus as well with student groups and campus partners. And I know I'm missing stuff. We also have crisis services. We have after hours support resources. We have some online resources like Tau Connect Therapy Assistance Online. And my favorite is Let's Talk. We have a program that provides walk-in support across campus Monday through Friday at different locations.
All right.
That's I mean, I'm happy to hear about that because I didn't know about this beforehand. So I think that's really awesome that our school has something so, important.
Yes, yes. We
Absolutely.
really want to be there for the students, and we really believe that each student may reach out in different ways, and so we want to provide a range of support also at different locations so that we can really increase access to support for our students.
That's amazing. I absolutely love that. And now I know you mentioned about Let's Talk. So can you go more in depth with what this is?
Sure, I would love to. Let's Talk was started 15 to 20 years ago by Cornell University in response to suicides that they had on campus. And I was at a conference with them. I was doing a presentation on multicultural outreach, and they were talking about their Let's Talk program. This was maybe about 13 years ago or so. Then I brought it to campus, and we've been doing it ever since. We started with a few sites. Now we're up to 9 sites. I always love to really thank Cornell for creating this service, because it's been a prevention resource for our campus. It's been really well utilized, and I really want to keep getting the word out there. We are at 9 different locations, Monday through Friday, all days except for Friday. We have 2 time slots. It's really considered our drop-in or walk-in service rather than having it at our main CAPS clinic or center. We go to the students. So we provide these 90-minute time slots where students are, where they live, where they socialize, where they recreate, where they study, where they eat. So we're out there. We have locations in the library, in the Cells building, in Cole Hall, 3 in the student center now. And we're all over in Dixon. We used to have a site. We hope to get that back in Freeman across the dining room. So what we do is we really strategically place our locations based on the need, requests, of course, having the space. And also we really look at where the students are and where we can reach the most flow and range of students, and also be where some of the referral campus partners are. So for example, in Cole, we are located in the DRC suite. We're really near, of course, Panera. We're really near University College. It's like where everyone is. EOF is in that building. Advisors are in that building. So we really want to be there. And obviously the Student Center, we're on the 4th floor where the deans are. We are in CSI where the student activities are. We're in OSJD, the Office for Social Justice and Diversity, where the LGBTQ Center, the Multicultural Center, Center for Faith and Spirituality, and Women's Center are, and obviously the library. And we really want to be there for a support. We really believe in not letting stuff build up.
Right.
And so students can go and talk about something when they're just having, like, say, a thought that they're stuck on, or an issue they've, wanted to come in for a while, but weren't able to. And now they see, oh, there's one in the cells building and I'm at class. Let me just pop in.
Right,
We're
yeah.
hoping to really reach our students.
Absolutely. And I think that's great. You guys are everywhere. That's
Well,
awesome.
yeah, it's really important. I really appreciate that you guys are everywhere, because I went to a university before this and they did not have that. Like there were
Mhm.
no mental health resources at all. And it was hard for the students there. A lot of us
Yes.
struggled because we didn't have those resources. So for you to list all of the buildings you guys are in,
I love that.
Yes,
Ye-
we're very proud of that. And we're also very thankful because it really requires, office space, even for a 90-minute slot, the same time every week. It's a hot commodity on this campus, and so we really count on campus partners to offer us their space for that time every week. And then we also try to have the same counselor in that time slot every week. So for example, the Wednesday 11 o'clock one is 11 to 12:30 is mine in the Student Center. Kabir Williams, that's his in the Office for Social Justice and Diversity. So we're as examples, and we do sometimes cover for each other, but for the most part, that's our time slot. And of course, we don't have time for me to go into who's at each one, but please do check out the website, and where our staff directory is, you can see which counselor is at which site. And also two very, very, actually, I can think of 3 very important things. One is that all of our services are confidential. All of our services are paid for in the student services fee. Also, we have 2 sites that are on Zoom, the Zoom locations. We started those, of course, in 2020 after COVID started, and we want to keep those as options for students who might want to come to Let's Talk, but they can't make it to campus. They can also just click on the Zoom link that's on our website, and during that 90-minute slot, they can see a counselor. I also, if it's okay with you, if I could share a little bit about how it works, just to let students know.
yeah, that's awesome.
So basically, first of all, anyone can, sometimes there's some stigma of coming to the counseling center and going to, counseling and psychological
Right.
services. So if you're an RA, if you're a student leader, if you're a friend who's concerned about someone, if you're a faculty, if you're a staff, and you're like, oh, I don't know if this student's going to be ready to come to CAPS and make an appointment and really do that. You can always send them to Let's Talk, because that's just a one-time, no appointments needed. It really works like office hours kind of with a professor, where it's first come, first serve. You show up. We see each people on average about 15-20 minutes. It's pretty solution focused. It's pretty informal. It's not therapy. It's really drop-in consultation and support for whatever issue a person's having. It could be something like coping with something that happened. It could be a microaggression. It could be something in a class. It could be a friend issue, a text that they got, something they're dealing with in social media. Or it could be that they aren't ready to come to CAPS, but this feels a little, I don't have to make a commitment to weekly sessions or groups or anything. Let me check it out. So I would say about half of the people we see, this is their like first step to CAPS, and then it's kind of a shortcut into CAPS, and we can help ease the transition to increase that access to the other CAPS resources that we have. We found that really works. For some students, they're fine just going on an as needed basis to one of our locations. Some students check them all out and then they pick a favorite, and then some students do want to take that next step to making an appointment at CAPS and doing some of our other services there. And so it's really a range of what we offer, and we can help be that bridge for students.
That's awesome. Really, really great.
Mhm.
So since your specialty is equality and inclusion, it's also said that one of your professional interests is women of color, international students, and much more. So how has CAPS helped out with not only students, but students who fall into this category?
We part of why we have Let's Talk and why we have a range of resources is because across cultures, and we have such beautiful diversity within our campus that actually brings a lot of different needs, different views towards therapy and what people need. So we really want to create a range of services, and so that is part of it. Some cultures, there's some stigma. I feel after COVID that has really decreased, which is so great. It's kind of become a little more okay to seek help. And I think people have recognized we all have issues, we all have stuff, we all have needs, but also I think COVID, has really impacted certain populations more than others. And so we really want our students of color, our BIPOC community to really know that we are a support and we offer a range of services. And sometimes people don't want, I think there's this myth, like, sometimes psychology and therapy hasn't really been depicted on TV and movies in the best light, and people are like, ooh, depending on what they've watched, they're just not like, I don't need that, or in some cultures, it might be seen as like weakness, or I shouldn't need that. I'm bright, I'm competent, I'm capable. But, we really want students to know that, first of all, when you're dealing with stress, when you're dealing with change, when you're dealing with transition, which all students are, that can impact you, that can impact your sleep, your focus, your mood, your functioning. And so you don't have to let it build up. Something happens, let's say, to a student who's from, a minoritized, community, let's say a microaggression in a class or from a peer or from a roommate, or literally just listening to the news and social media, you can get re-triggered. You can get triggered by something. And we don't want our students to feel alone. We want them to be able to have a place to come. And also, Let's Talk is a one-on-one service. That was my other point that I missed, is that some people think it's a group and they're like, ooh, I don't want that because I don't want to be talking to a bunch of people. I really just want one person. So Let's Talk is a one-on-one, just like office hours with a professor. But then another person might really want connection. They really might want to connect, say, with other students of color. So for that, for example, we have our new Living in Color support group for students of color. We have a support group also for men, it's a new group that we've started, and we have groups for just different needs as well, a chronic illness group, for example, a trauma group, for example. And so we really recognize that people have different needs and find different things helpful. And so we really want to be there in different ways for our students.
Right. Absolutely. That's amazing. Especially with February being Black History Month. I think it's awesome that we're definitely
Absolutely.
seeing the equality here on campus, especially through
Absolutely.
mental health.
Absolutely. And that also, makes me think about our outreach. We really try to connect with students in their worlds, so Black History Month activities, for example, we want to build relationships with our Black students, our Asian students, our Latinx, and all of our student communities, and our staff and our faculty. And so we try to be out there as much as we can, so that students see us and know us so that they can trust us. So we have a wonderful outreach coordinator, for example, Tiffany Cyprian, who's out there doing programs with our students. We're collaborating with our cultural student groups. We're collaborating with our LGBT Center. We're collaborating with our Office for Social Justice and Diversity, with EOF, so that we can really link with our campus partners who might be more connected with students as
That's
well.
awesome.
Right.
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, as a Latina myself, I have to say you guys do an awesome job, because I definitely have heard of you guys on campus.
Oh,
And
I'm so glad.
oh, yeah, definitely. And of course, we have one more question for you, Doctor, and I'm going to leave
Absolutely.
it to my host, Amanda.
Thank you, Kangela. But I know you said before where students can reach CAPS, but if you could just quickly remind us and our listeners where students can reach out if they need it, because we really appreciate it.
Of course. So please check out our website as well. And you can call 973-655-5211. 973-655-5211 to call CAPS and schedule an appointment. You can go to any of our Let's Talk sites. If you choose to call CAPS after hours, you can press 2 and be contacted with an after hours
Oh, wow.
counselor. I also want to let folks know about TAL Connect, Therapy Assistance Online. You can go to our website and there's instructions on how to sign up for it. There's also a QR code that you can get from some of you'll see our outreach flyers and things around campus. And when we're out at tabling and outreaches, please stop by and, you can get some of our written resources as well, old school. And you can register for TAL Connect. It's online resources, kind of like self-help books, but a little more interactive. And you can do that on your own time, so just log in with your Montclair State email. So we're really trying to be out there in very different ways. And we really appreciate you all helping us get the word out there.
Absolutely. Of course.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Doctor. We really appreciate it. And, mental health is something that doesn't just go away at any certain time. So I really appreciate that you guys have after hours time.
It's my pleasure. And we're all, we all have stuff. We all have stress. We all have issues. And so we are here. Thanks very much for having me.
Thank you
Of course.
so much.
Thank you so much for coming on to the show.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Have a great day.
You too.
All right, we are back with the morning buzz. Sorry, y'all, we just had to take a quick break, let that really awesome interview just marinate in our brains. But now we have a very awesome segment from Gwen. Woo!
Wow. Hello. Hi, I am Gwen Streitman, and this is your little segment on all things art in the local Montclair area and just in general. So here that we have for WMSC promotions. As a reminder, our first giveaway of the semester is Colony House. The concert will take place on March 7th at Irving Plaza. Colony House is an indie rock band from Tennessee made by brothers Will and Caleb Chapman, along with members Scott Mills and Park Cottrell. The giveaway will be open from February 12th to 18th, opening next week. Yay! So
Woo!
exciting. Our next giveaway of the semester is Emotional Oranges. The concert will take place on March 10th at Brooklyn Steel. Emotional Oranges is an R&B group from California, and the giveaway will be open from February 19th to the 25th. Our next giveaway of the semester is Freddie Dredd. The concert will take place on March 15th at Music Hall of Williamsburg. Freddie Dredd is a hip-hop artist from Ontario, Canada. The giveaway will be open from February 26th to March 4th. Our last giveaway of the semester is Microwave. The concert...
Microwave.
Sorry, I was
Yeah,
not
no.
expecting that. That's great.
The concert will take place on March 23rd at Racket NYC. Microwave is an indie rock band from Georgia. The giveaway will be open from March 5th to March 11th. To participate in these giveaways, you can visit our website, wmscradio.com. For MSU events, the Montclair State University Department of Theater and Dance presents Everybody by Brandon Jacobs Jenkins. It's a wildly fresh, seriously funny, and deeply human meta story that asks the big questions about what it means to live and what it means to die, if anything, and how we might travel through the world with a bit more grace and compassion. The play will take place in Life Hall Studio 1200 and will open next week on February 16th. Montclair State University Department of Theater and Dance presents Elephant's Graveyard by George Brandt. When a traveling circus arrived in muddy Tennessee town in 1916, the hunger for spectacle and the power of hysteria collided and took a tragic turn. Based on a true story, Elephant's Graveyard recounts why the hanging execution of a gigantic elephant happened, with personal narrative and lush theatricality that will reverberate long after the curtain goes down. The play will take place in Alexander Kasser Theater and will open on February 25th. So for local shows, one local venue is Crossroads in Garwood, New Jersey. Tonight, February 9th, Crossroads has a rock concert with performances by Tenpenny, Mission Control, Have You Flow, and Guesstimate. The doors will open at 7 p.m. and it is open to all ages. And the thing that you said after my first the first one where you said, Amanda, where you said all the rock bands have like these weird names, I think about that every single time I write these.
Microwave. That's kind of
That's truly original.
It's true. Like you have to take like an adjective and then just like a random word or like a verb, like action verb. Like
It's just microwave.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and we eat it
I don't
up
know.
every time.
yeah, we really be eating up.
Oh my gosh.
Another local venue is Dingbats in Clifton, New Jersey. Tonight, February 9th, Dingbats has a punk concert with performances by Chemical X, Regicide, This Island Earth, and Poison Ivy. The doors will open at 7 p.m., and it is open to all ages. Another local venue is Debonair Music Hall in Teaneck, New Jersey. Tomorrow, February 10th, Debonair Music Hall has a ska/punk concert with performances by Hub City Stompers, Disposable, and the Skells. The show is at 7 p.m., and it is open to all ages. And then another local venue is the Meat Locker in Montclair, New Jersey. Sunday, February 12th, the Meat Locker has a punk concert with performances by Organ Dealer,
Wow.
Mirda, Botlam, and Sonia.
Oh my gosh. Now I just saw that. Oh my gosh.
The doors will open at 8 p.m. and it is open to all ages.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
In new music releases, Pink Panther has released a remix of her single Boy's a Liar with Ice Spice. The song is titled Boy's a Liar Part 2. Ray released her new album, My 21st Century Blues. Lizzie McAlpine released her new single, Hold On, from the Apple TV show Dear Edward. Indigo D'Souza released her new single, Younger and Dumber. Irish rock band Inhaler released their new single, If You're Going to Break My Heart. Hemlock Springs released her new single, Stranger Danger. The Smashing Pumpkins released their new album, Atum Act 1 and 2. Young Lean released his new album, Sugar World, under the name Jonathan Leandower 96. And two releases coming out tomorrow. Pierce the Veil is releasing their new album tomorrow called The Jaws of Life. And Paramore is releasing their new album tomorrow titled This Is Why. So excited for that. And then lastly, for tour announcements, See Here Now announced their set list with headliners The Killers, Greta Van Fleet, Foo Fighters, and Weezer. The festival is September 16th to 17th in Asbury Park, New Jersey. And then Big Time Rush announced their tour with guests Max and Jax. I know you are excited,
I'm
Riley.
gonna be there. I'll be there.
The tour will be coming to New Jersey at the PNC Bank Arts Center on June 30th. Lovely the Band announced their tour with guest Beach Weather. The tour will be coming to New York at Webster Hall on June 28th. And lastly, Rebecca Black announced her tour. The tour will be coming to New York at Elsewhere Hall on May 6th.
But it is officially 8:03 a.m. here on the Morning Buzz on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. We made it.
We did. Oh
We
my gosh, we made it
made
to
it.
chaos hour.
We made it past all of the hard news, but we're here. We are ready to
Have some fun. Some fun
have
news.
some fun. But it is newscast time. So Riley Cupo.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. So in top national news, the president of Turkey on Wednesday acknowledged shortcomings in his country's response to the world's deadliest earthquake in more than a decade. With the confirmed death toll approaching 12,000, the Turkish president visited the especially hard-hit Hatay province, where more than 3,300 people died and an entire neighborhood was destroyed. Residents there have criticized the government's efforts for saying rescuers were slow to arrive. The president said, quote, "It's not possible to be prepared for such a disaster. We will not leave any of our citizens uncared for." He also hit back at critics, saying dishonorable people were spreading lies and slander about the government's actions. And at New Jersey news, Murphy makes a $10 million push to pair cops with mental health workers on 9/11 calls crisis. A program pairing mental health workers with police responding to 911 calls for people in crisis in New Jersey will expand statewide after a pilot program showed that it helps prevent some people from turning violent and improve their recovery. Governor Phil Murphy announced Wednesday, calling it a game changer. Murphy said, the program known as Arrive Together would be the first statewide collaboration between law enforcement and mental health professionals in the nation. And MSU news. If you have completed Gen Ed 199 New Student Seminar with a B- or higher, you might be eligible to apply for student leadership position that is focused on mentoring new first-year students at MSU. There are several positions available, including orientation leader, university fellow, and both combined. If you would like more information about these leadership opportunities, please visit the MSU First Year Experience Leadership page. We also have several virtual information sessions this week. Today at 4:30, there's a virtual session, and Tuesday, February 14th at 11:30 in Dickinson Hall 178, there is an in-person session. Today's weather is 50 as a high with no wind chill.
If you're just tuning in now, good morning, everyone. I'm Emmy DeNovellis, and we have a wide variety of sports to cover today. Kicking off with the doubleheader last night for Montclair State Sports at Ramapo College. The Montclair State women's basketball team upset the Ramapo Roadrunners with a score of 60-53. Senior superstar Nikki Carter added 25 points to help her team get the win. For the men's basketball team, sophomore standout Mike Jackson notched 27 points and Steve Bremen converted 25 points for their team to win against Ramapo in overtime, 85-79. Both teams will be back at home to face the King Cougars on Saturday afternoon. Meanwhile, for the indoor track team, recently, junior Owen Fogarty set a new school record for the pole vault, reaching a high of 4.57 meters, surpassing the previous school record at 4.45, set by Max Greenwood on February 6, 2019. Several New Jersey and New York teams have been and will be in action this week. On Monday, February 6th, the New Jersey Devils defeated the Vancouver Canucks 5-4. Tonight, the Devils will be back on their home ice as they take on the Seattle Kraken at 7 p.m. at the Prudential Center. While the New York Islanders easily defeated the Seattle Kraken 4-0 on Tuesday, the Islanders will host the Vancouver Canucks at UBS Arena tonight at 7:30 p.m. On Tuesday night, The Brooklyn Nets fell just short to the Phoenix Suns with a final score of 116 to 112. And the New York Knicks just beat the Orlando Magic with a score of 102 to 98. The Brooklyn Nets will be back in action tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. to take on the Chicago Bulls at the Barclays Center, while the New York Knicks will hit the road tomorrow to take on the Philadelphia 76ers at 7 p.m. sharp as well. Finishing with football, the Philadelphia Eagles will take on the Kansas City Chiefs for their big game coming up this Sunday, February 12th. Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes are set to make history on this day. They are the first pair of Black quarterbacks to face off head-to-head and lead their team to glory. Mahomes, who became the third Black quarterback to win in 2020 and is aiming to become the first Black quarterback in NFL history to win multiple rings this year, while Eagles quarterback Hurts could become the fourth quarterback to win the Lombardi Trophy. Hope everyone's excited that it's almost Friday. Back to you, Amanda.
Awesome.
Great sports cast. Emmy?
Yeah, thank you so much. Moving right along, we have everybody's favorite segment. Am I in the wrong? Woo!
Yes.
You know, this is my favorite. I don't know.
I love it. I'm looking at the title of the first one, and we just always get this type of topic.
Yeah, I love
We're
it.
like, we just love here.
We
love
really do.
It's almost Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
True.
perfect occasion to read this our
True.
first Am I in the Wrong?
Yes, so join us as we deep dive into the world of Reddit and messy situations. Disclaimer, these stories are not our personal experiences. They are just stories from Anonymous on Reddit. All right, are y'all ready?
Yes, I'm so ready.
All right. Am I in the wrong for not inviting my unsupportive sister to my wedding? I, 24 female, got engaged to Derek with 2 R's, 30 male, 1 month ago. Prior to that, we had known each other for 6 months. Wow. Okay. I know that's not a long time, but when you know, you know. We are madly in love and ready to commit ourselves to each other fully. My sister, 26, has a problem with that, though. She was supportive of my relationship with Derek with 2 R's before we got engaged. When I sent her a text telling her we were engaged, she responded just by saying, "Congratulations." Then no emojis, people. That's,
Just
concerning.
congratulations.
Then, when I saw her the week after that, she got all serious and said I should strongly reconsider the marriage. She told me I was young and could meet people I loved more. That was offensive to me because I love Derek more than anything. And she's basically saying that my love isn't important. She also said that Derek and I should date for longer before we got married. But we are fully committed to each other, so we might as well get married and be recognized as soulmates in the eyes of the law. Anyway, the conversation was so hurtful to me, I eventually asked her very directly, quote, "Do you support me marrying Derek?" She said no. So I stood up, told her she shouldn't be at the wedding, and if she didn't want us to get married, and I left. I haven't talked to her since, although she's texted me multiple times asking to talk. Derek and I were working on the wedding guest list yesterday, and we both agreed my sister should not come if she doesn't support us. So we are planning not to invite her. I mentioned this to my friend yesterday, and she pointed out that it may be a little rude of me not to invite my sister. So am I wrong for not inviting my unsupportive sister to my wedding? Now we have some entertainment news to keep you guys entertained. All right, so The Little Mermaid live action adaptation will be finished sooner than we thought. Disney has been teasing the live action of The Little Mermaid for what seems like forever now. Now, only a few months away from its premiere date of May 26th, 2023, fans are clamoring for new information about the upcoming film. Collider had the chance to sit down with the director, Rob Marshall. During this interview, that Marshall confirmed that the film is on track to be finished by March 2023. So very exciting stuff. If you guys are Little Mermaid fans, that's very exciting.
Moving on to Universal type of topics here. So we're looking at Harry Potter. Hogwarts Legacy Games makes Vastery, which get it, because J.K. Rowling is transphobic, for the Harry Potter universe. Interesting. All right. So a hotly anticipated new video game set in the Harry Potter universe appears to feature a trans character, which would be first for the entire franchise. Hogwarts Legacy is an action role-playing game in which players explore Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry and other locations of the universe. During one in-game quest, players meet Serona Ryan, owner of the Three Broomsticks pub in Hogsmeade. Is that how you pronounce
Yeah,
it?
it's Hogsmeade.
Okay, thanks,
Yeah.
guys. Sorry, I'm not a Harry
No,
Potter.
it's fine. You're
enthusiast.
good.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Last semester, like I said, Dobie, and everyone's like,
Wait, it's not Dobby.
It's
It's
Dobby.
Dobby. Everyone's like, it's not Dobie.
Oh, see, you learn something new every day.
You do.
All right. So, though the characters don't specifically say she's trans, a line of her dialogue leads players to make their own conclusion. Serona says about a goblin the player is pursuing, quote, hadn't seen him in years when he came in a few months ago, but he recognized me instantly, which is more than I can say for some of my own classmates. Took them a second to realize I was actually a witch, not a wizard.
On
Yes.
to a Texas man, not a Florida man. So
Texas.
this will be interesting. The Dallas Zoo continues to be on the lookout for missing animals after the man swiped two monkeys. No. If the
This didn't even happen in Florida. This is a very
This
Florida type of
this
conversation.
is Texas, and I'm screaming because I love animals. Okay, if the opportunity presented itself again, there's no promise that he would say no. According to the documents, the man said he loves animals and that if he's released from jail, he would steal more. Honestly,
This man
he's
has
me. I am
confidence.
him.
He has a
Him,
lot
honestly.
of confidence.
He ate that anyway. He waited for nightfall, jumped a
Nightfall.
fence to get onto zoo grounds, cut the metal mesh of an enclosure, and took the two emperor to Temerian monkeys. Wow, that is insane. I want to look up what these monkeys look like, and then
Yeah, what do they
he
look like? I
got on
wanna
the city's
see.
light rail before walking to the vacant home where he said he kept his animals. Can you imagine just him and like two monkeys chilling on the train?
Mustache.
Oh,
They're
I'm looking
so
this up.
cute.
Police found the monkeys the day after they were discovered missing about 15 miles south of the zoo.
We've got even more animal news, you
There you
guys.
go.
School voucher bills make a cat's meow. What? Okay. So there's been a heated debate over school vouchers in the Oklahoma legislature. Two lawmakers filed bills that would allow parents to use taxpayer dollars to pay for their child's private or homeschool education. There's been those that teach climate change, promote animal rights activism, encourage the defunding of police, disparage the Second Amendment, and even more. Those schools will be considered trigger districts.
Back to Texas. We're going right back there.
This is a good one.
Back to the Lone Star State.
Back to Texas.
Back to the movies. You have your tickets, maybe some candy. If you're a fan of the classic movie snack popcorn, you know the delicious buttery smell, which I am very much a fan of.
Yes.
It may be overprices and maybe just a little bit stale if you're unlucky, but boy, it's delicious. But there's a movie snack that I dare say is popping in Texas, and that's not. Oh,
I knew she was
and that snack is pickles. Pickles have been a Texas snack in movie theaters for decades. In New Jersey, what are we doing? There used to be a pickle concession stand in theaters, but for now they come individually wrapped. And if you are not a pickle juice person, they also come drained.
Oh,
This is
wow.
charmingly called a popcorn pickle.
I would eat.
Yeah, well, speaking of love, hey, if you don't have a Valentine this year, I don't have a Valentine. No problem. Try a cow. Oh,
Are they the fluffy cow? You know those really
It's
cute
a-
fluffy cows? Like,
no. Oh, yes. I know which one you're talking about. Yeah. So not only is February 14th Valentine's Day, but it's also Cow Hug Day. So the Animal Welfare Board in India and other cow lovers can now celebrate Cow Hug Day. It is said that it will bring emotional richness and increase individual and collective happiness. Alexa, play For All the Cows by the Foo Fighters.
But we're moving on to the Florida man. So, we couldn't leave you guys hanging. There had to be a Florida man story. We're not just going to
Yeah,
talk
of
about the
course.
Texas man and not have the Florida man. But, Florida man, he is at it again. James Mucciaccio of
Muchacho.
of Deerfield Beach, Florida, drove his Ferrari 360 off the end of a dog in Palm Beach after a confrontation with a police officer. A more recent report on the incident has outlined Muchaccio's motivation to be religious in nature. James escaped the vehicle before it sank and was rescued by two fishermen who turned him over to the waiting policeman. The officer then told him what compelled him to sink his Ferrari. James told the police officer, quote, Jesus told me to drive through a small gate and into a 6-foot window. Jesus made me the smartest man on earth. And it's so hard to have this much responsibility. He then reportedly called the officer and can I say this? Like, is that mean to say? Like, that's kind of, I feel like he's an, yeah, okay, no, I know it's not a slur, but I just feel like that's like kind of mean.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, I know
he's
what you're
an-
saying.
he said that he's an Egyptian who doesn't believe in Jesus, which also I just like, to me, I'm not saying that I couldn't say it because it's like not politically correct. I just
But
feel
it's
like it's
still wrong.
rude.
It
Like,
is
how could you say
rude.
to someone like, "Oh, you're this person and you don't believe in Jesus"?
Like,
Wow. We hope you guys have a great day, and we will catch you next Thursday. Bye bye.